Hey, so how's it going, everyone? This video, I'm going to be doing a live coding session where I'm going to try to edit the actual recording as little as possible, but I'm going to be making a app using vue.js. And then I'm also going to be using Vuex. I think it's called Bootstrap Vue. What else am I using? I don't remember. So let's just dive through our project. I have a simple skeleton project set up so I don't have to waste time installing stuff, and you don't have to watch me install node modules for 5 hours. So we have a Vue package which was set up using the Vue CLI. So if you don't know what that is, you can say Vue. Like after you do an npm install global of Vue CLI, you can actually create a Vue app, and that's what I did over here. So that's my Vue app. And then after that was done running, I installed Vue router, I installed Vuex, Bootstrap, and Bootstrap Vue. And Bootstrap is used for styling and just using like a grid system. Vue router is necessary for doing some type of HTML5 router. Vuex is good for doing a pattern where you store all of your app state in a centralized store instead of having stateful components. And I haven't used a lot of these in a long time, so we're going to be doing it's going to be like a refresher live code for me. And I'll walk you through what happens. Let me run the app. So npm run serve is what you can do to run this Vue app. So while that's running, let me walk you through my files. We got main.js, which is the main entry point for your Vue app, where you have all your dependencies loaded in. You got Bootstrap loaded in. You start binding those to your Vue using vue.use. I load in the store here. I load in my main component, set up my router, which basically says, depending on the route that you have in the URL, it'll render a different component. Let's look at the store last. So next we'll look at the app view. You see here, app view was rendered here. So we create a new view class or object. We give it a render method and we give it to h of app, which basically means that it's going to go into the div called app, or what was the div called? Yeah, maybe I should rename that. So there's a div called app here, which it's going to render that into. Technically, I could probably just get rid of that. So it's going to put this div with a router view inside of that app ID. And this basically is where it's going to inject those different views. We can put like a header up here if we want to, so that the header stays consistent on all of our pages. And we could put a footer down here if we wanted to. Yeah, but that's basically the setup. Let me show you the store real quick. So in addition to Vue router, I'm using Vuex. And you can create a simple Vuex store like this. You say new vuex.store. You can pass it state as a property, mutations as a property, actions as a property, getters as a property. Can't remember if I'm missing one. I'm probably in. Oh, yeah. Anyway, so I have a really simple state setup where it has a count of 0 and it has a set count method where you can increment the count. And all this is doing here on this main page is just rendering a container that has 3 columns, and in the center column it prints out a count, so it should just say 0. So if I go to the app up here, you can see it says 1 out of 3, 2 out of 0, 3, and that is because we are printing that out here. So that's the overview of the setup. Now, what are we going to build? What am I going to try to live code for you all? What I have in mind is I actually asked, you guys for an idea, and someone sent me a sentence saying build a cinema seat reservation app or cinema reservation app. So not that much detail, but I'm assuming it's something like Fandango or whatever. You go on, you have a list of movies. You can click on a movie, and that'll show you the show times of the movie. And you click on a show time, that'll give you the option to buy tickets for like adults, children, or seniors. And then finally, you click a button, and it lets you pick the seats. So if you've picked 3 tickets that need to be bought, you can buy 3 different seats. So let's try to live code this. I didn't do any planning on what I'm building, so we're going to run into some snags along the way. We might get lost. It might been much longer than I thought it would be to make this, so let's just go ahead and get started. So let me just look up Bootstrap Vue because we're going to be using that. And I'll probably end up needing to look up everything else. So Bootstrap Vue, we have components. We have got like a grid system you can do. Pretty straightforward to do. Got code examples. But yeah, let's just start with the first page, which is going to be basically a list of all your movies. And to make this as simple as possible, I'm going to try to use as many components in Bootstrap and not do anything myself because laziness is a beautiful thing. All right, so we have a card component that we can use in Vue Bootstrap or Bootstrap-Vue. And I could just copy and paste this into my movie tickets. So what I want to do is I want to make 3 columns of movies with images of the movie title, and then maybe a little description, and then a button that says View Showtimes. So how do we do that? Well, if we go into our components, let's just make a new one called movie list.view. And I'll just scaffold that out with a view template. And I'm going to paste that card in. And then also go back here and I want to grab all of this container stuff. Okay, so since we're going to be doing a lot of like the same thing, it makes sense to make a movie card.view. Put that card template there, and then we could replace this with some stuff in a second. But inside a movie list, what we want to do is import the movie card from that movie card file. I don't remember if you need to put .view at the end of this. Guess we'll find out. And to get this working, I believe you can just say components and pass it movie card like that. Let's see what this is complaining about. Not used. So just to see if this works, in our first column, let's remove this stuff and just put a movie card component here. And did I forget anything? Guess we'll find out. Okay, so I pasted in the movie card. Why is this not? Let me make sure I'm not doing something wrong. I think you need to have the .view extension. So movie list imports movie card.view. And for some reason, it's not refreshing my page. The card is not showing up. So let's see what we could be doing wrong. Oh, I know why. So we made a new page, I guess you could say, but we didn't add it to the router. So let's go here and let's go into our main.js and let's add a movie list import here so that we can add it as a route. So like I said, our router is defined in this file, and to do the router, you just apply it a path. So I can say movie list, or just movies out that, and then component could be that. So in fact, I probably will just end up putting movie list on slash, but we'll just see if this works. Relative module is not found, movie list. So if I go to movie list, it is crashing. This relative module is not found. Movie list in, okay. Components. Cool. So far, we're not really having much luck with, wait. There we go. Wait, is that how you do it? There we go. Sorry, just woke up. I need to drink my coffee. Have some ASMR right there. Okay, so we have a card. Let's just look up some movies. So we can get some real data going. Here, Bad Boys for Life. Here we go. Um, so to keep this all simple, I'm trying to do as little work as possible just so I can kind of highlight on Vue and not waste time with other things like backend. I'm just going to use your URLs. So here we have a title called Bad Boys for Life. And I just wanted the image. Copy image address. See if this works. Let's go back to movie card. Paste in the image address. Uh-oh. I think they're using base 64. That sucks. Cool. So now we have images. We could put a title here. So I could say title is Bad Boys for Life. A movie with Will Smith. There you go. That's a good description. That's all you need to know to go see a movie, right? And then here we could say view showtimes. All right, so we have our card, has a movie image, it has a title, it has a description, and it has a button that says view showtimes. The card is pretty big. I might want to add a max height to this. I don't know why it's so huge. So if I go to be card, um, yeah, we probably need to look at how you do that. For left and right images, you may need to apply additional styles and classes, as images will stretch in height if you have content that is taller than your image. You do an overlay image. I'm sure there's somewhere in this doc that explains. Hmm. You know what? I don't really know. Let's see. Height. Or max height? Well, I don't know what to tell you. I'm disappointed that there's not an easy way to just prevent this from being so huge. So maybe there's some CSS I can hack at this. Basically, what I could do is find anything with the class card, and I could do scoped styles and say if it's a card and it has an image, max height is going to be equal to 200 pixels. Let's see if that actually does anything. Of course it doesn't do anything. Why would it do anything? So I had to refresh the page for this to apply. I didn't think that was the case with Vue. It's supposed to auto refresh stuff. It looks like it is now. I'm not sure what was going on there, so that's kind of. I've ran into some strange issues with Vue CLI before, where like you have to refresh the page to get stuff working, and I'm not that impressed with it, to be honest. But maybe I just don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, we got the card laid out. Now what we want to do is we want to list out a bunch of different cards, and then we probably also want to make this take dynamic titles in. So what I could do here is this could take in a title. And bear with me, I'm trying to remember how to do some of this stuff. I think you could just say this dot title. I don't remember. But to allow your components to take props, I could say title. And then go back here and I could just say title is equal to Bad Boys for Life. And let's see, maybe I could just say title. there we go. I totally forgot in view. If you want to bind, you have to use these colons. So this is a variable I'm binding to. We'll get a hang of this. We'll get a hang of this. I use React all day at work, so I have not used Vue in a long time, so bear with me. So the other thing I want to do is make the description something that is dynamic. So description is equal to this. Putting it all in one line, which is kind of disappointing. Okay. So that's how you kind of make a Vue component take in properties and then dynamically display them. We probably also want to pass in like source or something, but we'll change this around, refactor it, make it look nice. So just to verify that this kind of works and does what we want, I'm just going to paste the same thing multiple places. All right, so we got some cards showing up, and it'd probably be nice if we had a title. So I'm going to say B row, and B column. Come on, autocomplete. Yeah, it's not auto-completing on my editor for some reason, so that sucks. Just putting a title says movie list. Nothing too extravagant there. And make sure you auto-complete your tags. All right, so we got movie list showing up. We got the movies. Now at this point, you may say, well, this is all hard-coded. What we want to do is we want to dynamically load in these movies from the state. Well, one thing you can do is with Vuex, you have like actions and mutators. Your actions you can use to kind of do asynchronous calls to your backend to get data. And we're going to mock that out. We're going to pretend like we have a backend running, but really it's just going to be data in our front end that's being returned. But you can use an action that grabs data from the backend, and that invokes a mutation to put that data into your state. And then in here, you can use something called map state that you can use to listen to those state variables. So first thing I'll do is I'll do a computed thing, takes an object, and then I'll do dot 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 map state, and you can pass that an array of state variables. So I'm going to say movies. Now map state is not found because I did not import it. So I'm going to say import map state from Vuex. And at this point, we should have access to this dot movies. So if I go into my store and just declare a movies array and give it some movies, like title would be that's description, but I'll just grab that anyway. The description is this description, Bad Boys for Life is the title. So if I take this and I copied it and pasted it 3 times, I'll say 1, 2, 3, save that. What this allows us to do, especially since we've done bind state already, or map state, inside of here, we could just say this dot state, I'm sorry, this dot movies, and I'm sorry, you can't do this. I'm thinking about React right now. You can do a v4. So for movie card, I can say v4 movie in movies. Maybe it's this dot movies. Then you could do some stuff with that. I might have to look this up because I honestly do not remember how to do this. Requires a vbind key. So key is equal to movie dot title. Could be our unique key. I don't know if it's movie in or movie of. I don't know if you need this. I have to definitely look up the docs here. All right, so again, we're seeing a hard-coded list of all the movies. Let me get rid of these. Uh, movie title. Oh, it would help if we bound the description to movie.description. You know what? Actually, it would make more sense. Let's just pass the movie, right? Sometimes you just find an easier way to do stuff. Is there an issue with just passing a movie? Probably not. So let's just pass the movie. Let's say that this takes a prop called movie. And what we can do here is anywhere we said a movie dot title, and we could say this dot movie dot description. All right, so now we have the cards rendered out. And an error. Let's see if that was an old error. Okay, we have 3 cards rendered out in the first column. Bad Boys for Life 1, 2, and 3. And I just want to test something. I think you can add this. Yeah. Yeah, so I think I should get in the habit of just putting this there because it was kind of strange that we had this down here and not this here. Yeah, and then there's a button here where when you click it, it should probably redirect you to a movie of ID. So we don't have IDs on our thing, so let's add an ID. Let's see, ID of 1, ID of 2, and ID of 3. Save that. So, okay. The next path I want to take is I want to be able to render these out in different cards. And one way you can do that is you could just filter by an index. So there is a way to filter in Vue. I do not remember how. I'm gonna have to look up the docs. Man, now that I'm, using Vue and I'm so used to React, React just makes a lot more sense in terms of like a programmer's perspective. Because like for filtering, I guess what I could do is just do it in a computed. So we have map state of movies. But instead what we probably want to do is we can say, what can we say? We basically want to mod the index by by 3, and then see if it's 0, 1, or whatever. And I think you can do this in your view, but we don't want to do it in our view because you want to keep your logic out of your views. So the only approach I can think of is we have a computed method that maps state based on which index you're looking for. So I have to Google this. I'm going to be Googling a lot. Store.state.count. So I'm guessing this is how you do it. I don't know where store comes from. Seems like it's a global set somewhere. I much rather do this approach. Okay, so what we can do... Oh, state comes in as a variable. Duh. Okay, so I'm going to say movies column A. You can tell if this is a good approach or a bad approach. I'm going to say get movies. That is going to take in an object, which just returns state.movies for right now. Just to make sure that I can... Actually, I think it needed to be a map state. Yes, it did. So map state, instead of taking an array here, we can take an object and pass those properties of different methods and stuff, and we should have access to use those. So the main difference is I'm going to say this dot get movies, call it like a function, go back and hope our UI is working. And it's not, because this dot get movies is not a function. because it's a computed. There we go. So computeds are always going to be like non-functions, so you have to make sure you don't call them like a function. But I think there is a way to make a computed take in an argument. So, because what we want to do is we want to have the index. I think this is how you do it. I don't remember. And then take that, make that have an index. I'll say column. I don't know if there's a way to do this. Column is defined but never used. I'm passing it in here, man. Stop complaining, man. Okay. I'm getting kind of stuck. What I'm trying to do is super simple, but for some reason it's very difficult to do this in Vue. React, I would have had this done already. That's because I'm probably more familiar with it, but maybe I can just, let's see. So Vue v4 loop over function array. Yeah. Item. I want the index. Well, I'm gonna see if I can do this. I'm gonna pass it 0. And maybe I can make this return a function. I don't know if this actually works. But we will find out. So filter the index, and we want to get back where the index mod 3, because we have 3 columns, is equal to column. Have column come in here. I don't know if this will work. I'm just trying stuff. Sometimes it's fun just to try things and realize that you don't know what you're doing. And that is what we are doing right now. Cannot read property filter of undefined. Why? Vuex map state factory function. Bro, this is why I don't like doing live coding, because did I not do state? No, I did. Maybe I need to use a getter. Maybe that's what I need to do. There's got to be a way to pass in an ID. Here it is, method style access. Okay, so what this basically a good learning point was freaking read the manual before you do a live coding session. So let's just do getters. I'm going to say get movies. That's going to pass in a column. Actually, it looks like it was state and column. I might have actually might have been able to get this to work if I did this. Let's see. Yes, I think that actually worked. Anyway, this is a bad approach because you don't want logic in your views. Well, this is view logic, I guess you could say. I guess it makes more sense to have it as your... That'll call me out. If I'm doing something completely terrible, let me know. But now we have a method that you can pass it in a column and it'll give you the first column, second column, or third column. So what we could do here is just inside of these, I could say get movies 1, 2, and 3, and then it should render out into the different columns here. And the second thing we do is, let's just make sure that this works. I'm going to add another ID called 4, Bad Boys for Life 4. And it comes down 4 down here. All right, we'll come back and we will change this up. But the main thing I need to do is when this movie list mounts, we need to fire off an action and we need to say load in the movies. So I'm going to say mounted is a function which needs to fire off a mutation or an action. So let me see how to do that, because again, I don't know how to do that. I think you can do state.store dispatch. Mounted. Yo, why is this so confusing? I'm in a component. I want to get the store. You don't have any examples of how you do something when your component mounts? Like, come on, man. Well, I think because I've done this before in the past, I'm pretty sure you can do this. I'm not seeing that anywhere in plain sight when you're looking at like how to dispatch an action. Right, this money sign store. You can dispatch actions and components with this. Let's sort of dispatch or use map actions helper, which, okay. Again, I just need to read the docs. But yeah, we could have a method which calls the methods. Yeah. So methods, and that is going to call map actions, and that is going to take an array of actions. So I'm going to say fetch movies. And we just need to make sure we include that helper function up here. So fetch movies. That assumes we have an action in our Vuex store called fetch movies. So we don't. Let's go here and add an action called fetch movies. And what is this actually doing? Well, it needs to dispatch a mutation. So I'm going to say, let's see, let's just read this. Takes a commit. Fetch movies takes a commit. You can do something after some time. This is probably a good example of an async call here. So fetch movies is going to call set movies. That's going to take in state and movies. State.movies is equal to movies. I think that's how you do it. The timeout resolve. Guess I could do that. All right, so instead of having movies come out here, let's just hard code this. So const movies is equal to that. Get rid of that in state. I'm also going to get rid of count. Actually, movies is going to be an empty array at first. Resolve, reject, set movies, movies. Get rid of all this stuff. Return that. Yeah, let's see if this works. I gotta go to mutations just to make sure. So somehow you can pass messages, and that's your second argument. So if this all works correctly, which I doubt it will the first time, it should have called fetch movies. Actually, it didn't, because I didn't do mounted. It needs to call this dot fetch movies. I think that's how you do it. Yes, an error. No, we all love errors. Cannot read property fetch movies of undefined. Fetch movies is undefined. Yeah, that makes sense. Why would that be the case? Okay, so we have an action called fetch movies, which does stuff. Let me get rid of set count. Let me also get rid of this main thing. Like, we don't need this anymore. Bye. In router, let's get rid of main here. Well, back to the docs because I don't know what I'm doing. So we should have been able to do map actions. We pass an array of actions, and then later on, you should be able to call them. Dispatching actions in a component. Methods. Methods, map actions. Ew, am I missing something? Methods, map actions, add, increment by. Map this dot increment to this dot store dot dispatch increment. Bro, this is kind of frustrating. Like, I remember Vue being intuitive to use, but now that I'm using it again, it's like not intuitive. I'm just bitter because I don't know what I'm doing. Error in mounted hook. Cannot read fetch movies of undefined. Maybe you can't use mounted stuff until... Oh. Duh. I was using a fat arrow here, which overwrites this. I'm sorry. I don't mean to bash for you, but... Too many gotchas. I'll get better at it, though. Don't listen to me. Don't downvote me. Just because I'm new and I don't know what I'm doing. The frustration's real, though. I'm trying to learn frameworks, like... I've been doing this for a while now, and to grab a framework and to be frustrated because it's so hard to, like, get started. Because you run into, like, snag after snag after snag. Not fun. And the same stuff happens with React and Angular, like... Anyway, I'm ranting right now. So... I think we finished the movie list. I mean, I need to dynamically change these to different things. But I'm kind of tired of working on this movie list page, so let's move on to view showtimes. What we want to do is when we click on this button, it should redirect us to the ID of the movie. So I could say here, there's an href on the button, and what we want to do is bind that href. Hopefully they allow us to bind the href, and that needs to be movies slash, let's see if I can do string interpolation here. This dot movie dot ID. Hopefully that works. And it does. It went to movie slash 2. So we don't actually have a movie slash 2. So it's going to crash. So what we want to do is now we could say show times dot view. Movie show times. How about that? Scaffold up a project. I'm going to go into main. I'm going to add a new route called movies slash, I think that's how you do it. Let me look up a view router. All right, so the first thing you should probably see over here is dynamic route matching. Maybe that's what I need. ID component. Money sign route params. Okay. So let's movie show times. Let's make sure we bring that in. It's crashing because we don't actually movie showtimes. Let me go back to movies. Click on a showtime. And that crashes because doing hashtag routing. I don't like hashtag routing, so let's see if we can get rid of that. There's any type of configuration. HTML5 history mode. Maybe that's it. Okay, let's try hash bing. Try hashtag. Come on. I mean, it's called HTML5 mode. If you use HTML5 mode, I mean, I guess this is it. Mode history. But default mode of router is hash mode in the URL summary. Yeah, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to go to the index. I'm going to make this history mode. I can find my router. Oops, wrong file. Router. History mode. So now I don't have to have hash tags in my routes. Of course, it doesn't work now because I'm not doing /movies. Yo, it takes a while on my computer to reload a page. Must have too many tabs open. All right, let me close some of these tabs. Maybe that'll speed up my speed this up. But okay, so after hitting bug after bug after bug, hope you guys are learning something. I hope I'm not trying to be too negative about my struggles, but let's close this. So now that we have movie showtimes, what we want to do is we want to fetch the movie by ID and get the showtime. So what we can do here is similar to how we did it before. We probably want to have a action we can call this called get movie. So let me go to the store, call it fetch movie, and that will take in a ID. I'm assuming you can fetch movies with like this. We'll find out. But let's just pretend like there is a movie we can fetch. And I'm going to say movies.find movie.id is equal to ID. And that's going to call set movie. All right, so movie set movie state that movie is equal to movie. So we got a mutation called set movie. We have an action which fetches the movie. And this can just say you need to figure out how to get the state. Wait, do we need the state? No, this should be okay. All right, what's it crashing on? It's crashing on a console log. Why? Oh my gosh, I hate when they add linters that don't let you have console logs. Like, I don't know what the workaround is, but well, I could just add and ignore. Anyway, let's just see what we can do here. So we could say computed. No, I'll just do state. So in this case, there's another method called map state, which I think I talked about, which I can just grab the movie, and I just need to make sure I import that from Vuex. And then here I could say this dot movie dot title. Assuming this works, we should be able to get the title back. Why is this crashing? Probably because it's not wrapped in something. I don't think there's a state computed. That's probably my bad. All right, so I shouldn't have been using state there. I should have been using computed. So let's go back and just set this back to an empty object. And should set movie after a second. And it did not set movie. So that's because I did not do a mounted. So when mounted, we want to call this dot fetch movie, and then we want to pass it the ID. So one way you can fetch that is you could say route, I think it's router, ram.id, and we'll figure this out. Do that, and then for methods, we need to map the action called fetch movie. I think it's router. I think it's, I don't know what I'm doing. View router. We just had it opened. I closed it. Route params ID. This dot route params ID. All right, so we're getting an error saying cannot read property title of undefined inside of movie showtimes. So why do you think that is, guys? I'm mapping the state, which has movie. This was working before when we hard-coded movie, but now it's not. And that's probably because doing set movie here, set movie takes movie. It must be finding a movie that doesn't exist. So let's just console log the ID. And I'll just add a ESLint ignore Y. There's a way to disable for the next line. I forget. I think you do that. Just need to print this out so I can help debug. Oh. Disable next line. Here we go. That's all. I don't know why you disable console logs. Like, yeah, you shouldn't have them in production, but all right. So ID was 1, and all this should be doing is looping through this movies, finding you the one that has the ID of equal to 1. The movies, find movie where ID is equal to 1. And we can actually print this out as well. And that should give us back what we want. And it gives us back undefined. If I print out movies, does that actually give us an array of 4? It does. Those are all IDs. So why would this not be working? Find where the movie is equal to ID. And yet again, another issue is the router is going to be a string, but the ID inside of the movie is actually an integer. So I think these would probably be UIDs. It might be auto-incrementing IDs if you use MySQL, but I'm going to pretend like they're going to be UIDs. So they should be strings. And that's why I wasn't finding with the find. So just hitting bug after bug. Give me a minute. I gotta collect my thoughts. Okay. Let's just clean this up. I mean, you understand that this is gonna be an async like timer, so it might not take a second to get your movies back, but you get the idea if you're still watching by now. So let's just get rid of all this stuff. I think we're just overcomplicating all this for now. So we can go back to our movies list. We can click on a movie, and that will fetch the movie 3 Bad Boys for Life. So at this point, what we want to do is on that movie show times, we want to list out all the different show times. And we could do that by first, our movies would need to have show times attached to them. And we could say that that is a list of strings, I guess. 10 a.m. And there's one in 2 p.m. How about that? And honestly, these would probably be like ISO strings, not just hard-coded strings, but yeah. I didn't want to have to bring in moment and do all these string conversions and stuff, date conversions. So anyway, what we're going to do is we want to loop through and display all the show times. So we know how to do that, right? We already did a loop in Vue. So if I load up the Bootstrap Vue docs and I go to my components, why does this page want to give me like alerts? Okay. Let's find a cool little, maybe we can just use buttons. Pop over progress navbar. Let's see what is nice to use. Input, Jumbotron, image, form group, embedded, collapse, card. Badge. You know what? Because it's a button and we can click it, we should probably use a button. Thought there'd be something cool we could use, but let's just go back and just use a button. So what we want to do is we'll make a div, and that'll be our showtimes div. Gonna have buttons. We're gonna loop over our buttons. So showtime in this dot movie dot showtimes, and that is going to be a link that goes to /showtimes. Wait, no. say tickets. Buy tickets. You know, maybe we should not say buy tickets. Let's just print out the show times. So showtime. Let's see if this works. Not read property movie of undefined. Cool. Well, what line is that happening on? Movie showtimes that view cannot read property movie of undefined. Well, let's just verify that it is in fact this button. And I think it is. So the button is causing an error. And the error is because I have no idea. So I mean, all these have showtimes on them. So I'm guessing it's because movie is an empty string. Not read property movie of undefined. I mean, that's typically like, this means that it's undefined. Maybe I can't use this there. Cannot read property movie of undefined. What the hell? Movie in this dot get movies. Like, I don't get it. I don't know what's going on here. It's one of these things is broken, so let's just go through them one by one and see what is actually broken here. So it's probably this href maybe? So if I hard code this, does that work? It looks like this is the issue. Why? This dot movie ID. What if I just say movie? Wait, so this works? Bro, I need to go back to the view docs and understand how this is working, because like, what the hell is going on? Computer properties and watchers. So they don't use this anywhere, it seems. So maybe that's my big issue, is I need to stop using this in my views. I just want to double check that that is the case. I think that's my problem. So note to self and note to anyone watching this. I would just stop watching this, honestly. I would just find a different video, because There's just too many struggles going on with this because I don't know what I'm doing. So I don't think you should have this in any of your views. So I'm gonna remove this from everywhere. And let's just verify this works. Okay, I guess you do need this in some of your views. What the heck, man? You need it in this one, but not in others? Oh, duh. I keep doing this. All right, I'm gonna fix this right now. I keep going to the the default route, which I'm going to stop doing because I keep getting confused about that. So we got the movies here. You click on a movie. It takes you to the movie page with showtimes. You click on a showtime. It takes you to the movie. And then I should probably do a slash here. No, wrong page. Movie showtimes. Go to movie slash movie ID of tickets. Go back. Click on this. We went to movie one tickets. Actually we should probably go to tickets slash showtime. 2 p.m. Alright. I'm gonna wrap this video up pretty soon. I think it's gone too long and there's been too many bugs. I'm kind of disappointed with his recording, but if you made it this far, you are a true fan, so I love you all. Alright, the last thing I'm going to do is I want to have a page where people can select the tickets. So if they want one child ticket, if they want some other tickets. So I'm going to say ticket selection.view. I'll scaffold that up. Copy and paste this stuff. I'll say that there's a showtime in the route. So same deal. I mean, I'm just going to copy the script verbatim because we still need to fetch the movie. And we need to make sure we have a route created for this. So if I go here, create a route, say showtimes and showtime ticket selection. We don't have a ticket selection, so let's import one. In fact, I'm going to just import these right above the router. That'll even let me do that. So what do we miss? Let's click it and see what happens. Ticket selection view. Should probably be showing something, but it's not. Why is it not showing anything? Is that route.params? Movies, ID, showtimes. It's called tickets. I'm gonna change that to showtimes. So on movie showtimes, the link should go to showtimes. Go back. Cool. So now it says buy tickets for 10 a.m. And we have the title still. Okay, so instead of these buttons, we just want to have, let's see, what should we do here? Well, obviously we need like adults. We need children. And I'll say seniors. And then what we can do here is maybe have buttons that say, +1, -1. Okay, let me go back to a button. Give me a button. All right, so a button, we don't need a v-for, we don't need an href. Really all we need is a plus here, and then a minus, and then probably a count, which we'll do in 1 second. So let's just see what this looks like. Cool. And then when you click on them, we probably want to dispatch a new commit that says like ticket selection increment or something. So I'm just going to say click. It's going to call a function, and that function is going to be called going to be a mutation. Map mutations, and I'm going to say increment tickets in decrement tickets. I think that's how you spell it, increment and decrement. All right, so this assumes that you have something called increment ticket and decrement ticket. If I go to my store and go to mutations, it's the increment ticket, and that could take in a movie, I guess. Probably needs a ticket, and then it also needs a movie ID. I think this is how you do it. But let's just say that there's a tickets object that we can keep track of this stuff. So I'll say tickets of movie ID equals to itself or 0 plus 1. State.tickets. Movie ID is equal to state.tickets. State.ticket. No, I'm going to say if state.tickets dot, not movie ID. We don't care about the movie ID. We'll just reset this when we go to the page. All right, we got increment tickets. Hopefully this works as we think it should. We got decrement tickets. Difference is we subtract 1. But that doesn't make sense, so we should probably say math.max of 0 in that. Right, we don't want to go negative in terms of tickets. So if that works as I think it should, but we'll probably hit a bug like we always do. When we click on these buttons, we want to call increment tickets, and we need to pass it a ticket ID. So I'll say adult. Like this, maybe? I think that's how you can do it in Vue. Guess we'll see if there's a bug. Okay, I'm not getting errors, so that's a good sign. And then the other button should be decrement tickets. Decrement tickets. Still do adult. And what we want to do is we want to map the state of tickets. And our count that we displayed over here, instead of doing 0, we should probably display tickets of, I guess say dot adult or 0. So last step is, let's see if these are even being called. So console.log here, and we probably want to ignore it. Should have kept that around. I should have probably memorized this. Like, how do I ignore console log? You might say, well, you can just make an ESLint config and disable it. Yeah, I could. Where's the fun in that, you know? Here, disable this stuff. Console, disable line, no console. Is that what it's called? Bro. ESLint config, rules. I'm just disabling this stuff, like. If you're develop, why do people want to know my location and stuff? Like ESLint, why do you care about where I'm located? Gosh, guys. Alright, so what we want to do here is just disable that. I'll just put a warning. And maybe that's good enough. Oh, it's not proper JSON, okay. Alright, so at this point, can I use a console log without it complaining about my console log? I cannot yet. Console off. Disable that stuff. Unexpected console statement. I just disabled that in my ESLint. Let me restart my my Vue service. It might need to restart. Okay, here prints out. So state.tickets of ticket. I wonder if ticket is not. It's probably not an object. Try it again. All right. Still not doing anything, so let's actually print out what's going on here. Are we passing the correct ticket? Pass adult. So that means after this runs, this should become 1, 2, and 3. Adult 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so that's working. I think my what's it called? Like mutators are working, but this tickets.adult is not working. And the question is why? Map state tickets. Tickets is up here with an empty object. Map state of tickets. In fact, I could probably just say tickets. I don't need to do map state twice. Come on, man. Maybe it's this or 0. Didn't make a difference. If I can stringify this. Adult 21. Yeah, it's like incrementing, but it's not updating my view for some reason. Map state, tickets. We have tickets here. We're incrementing our tickets. Okay, this is one thing that I do not like about Vue. In some cases, you have to call like an actual set if stuff is not defined. So like the main issue with what we're doing here is because tickets is an empty object and there's no keys of adult, child, and senior, the Vue doesn't know how to like properly update. So it's just another gotcha that you have to make sure you remember. And there we go. And it's going negative for some reason. Why? I thought I disabled that. Mathemax. Oh, yikes. Oh, I can't wait to wrap this up. All right, so we don't need this fallback because it's always going to start out at 0. So let's just get rid of that. And let's get rid of that. And let's also print out adult here. The last thing I'm going to do is make a component called ticket type. That is going to contain all of this logic. It's going to have the same things here. Come on now. The ticket type, and the only difference is it's going to take in a props that's called type, I guess. And instead of all this, we can say type. Oops, not type. Okay. All right, so now when you increment, it's going to increment the type that we passed in, and this will just be type as well. And now at this point, we could just import that. So ticket type from ticket type dot view, and that could be under components, ticket type. Come on now, ticket type. And when it mounts, you still need to fetch the movies, but I think everything else is going to. Do you even need the movie? I don't think I even need to fetch the movie. Why is this complaining? Not used. All right, so what we want to do here instead is just use ticket type. And type could be equal to adult. Children, seniors. And this stuff we don't need. I don't think we need to fetch the movie when we mount. No, we do because we have to. Okay. We are displaying the movie in the title, I believe. Let me go back to what it was. Hold on. So we do need to mount and fetch the movie, which means we do need to do this. Methods, map action, fetch movie. Grab this whole thing and just delete what I would want. Okay. And then we're doing movie.title here. So we need to make sure that we're grabbing the movie. So we're going to do computed map state. But we don't need tickets here. We really just need the movie. And this one we don't need movie, we just need tickets. We don't need to fetch the movie when we mount. We don't need fetch movie here. All right, let's see what bugs we got. The only bug I see right here is, well, I just print out type. And make sure you do the double mustache. All right, so type is children, seniors, and adult. Type is coming in at props. For some reason, it's printing out 0 for all these. Hmm. I'm not sure why. So type is definitely being passed in because we can see it here. But the issue is that type seems to be undefined here. I wonder if I need to do this. I don't think I should have to. Yeah, I don't need to do that. Oh, we already determined we don't need to do stuff like that. Increment tickets, decrement tickets, map mutations. Why? Why? Why does this not work? Why is this so confusing to do? Tickets. Come get your tickets. Children, seniors. So these are actually printing out correctly. So I don't think there's an issue with the type. It's like the issue is with binding on this. And it's because, let's see, we have tickets here. Tickets is on state, adult, child, children. Children? Seniors. Oh gosh. All right, well there you have it. Yeah, I'm just gonna wrap this video up. It's going on too long. I might honestly remake this entire thing since I have a better understanding of Vue now, but I feel like if I did this in React, this would have been so much quicker. And that's because I know React. I worked with React every day. Vue, I haven't touched in a while. But yeah, that's a live coding session of me struggling a ton with learning how to use React, refreshing my memory of how Vuex works, how Bootstrap Vue works. I haven't really used that. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or whatever, definitely leave a comment below. I'm interested in maybe redoing this because this took me over an hour or so to build something super simple. And I think that's mainly because I'm not familiar with all the nuances of Vue at this point. But yeah, I mean, I think we covered some good stuff. We covered Vue Router. You saw how we made new routes. We made buttons that can navigate you to different routes. We discussed state, computeds. We discussed Vuex a lot. So we have like our store where we're keeping track of state. We encountered some issues with how Vue works, and you need to make sure that you have things already defined in state, or else there is, I think, a method in Vue you could do called like Vue money sign set or something. But and then yeah, you could probably move this logic to exist on a REST API to be on the back end, so that we don't have a hard code list of movies. And there's a lot of stuff that we could probably improve on. There's a lot of stuff we could build out. But that is a really basic ticket buying system, like movie ticket buying system. I mean, I guess the last thing I could do is add a button down here. Let's just add a button that says buy, just so it seems like it's done, but really it's not done. So go here, add a button that says buy your tickets. And then you probably show some type of modal, ask for their credit card information, and then when they buy it, you show them a print confirmation screen, but that's a bunch of extra work, which I don't have time for. So yeah, let me know if you have any more ideas about Vue apps or React apps that I could build for you all. Leave me a comment, send me a message. If you want to call me out on some stuff I'm doing that's incorrect, feel free to call me out as well. But again, this is more of a refresher video. I haven't used Vue in a while. I'm trying to get back to understanding it. But coming in from like the fog, the haze, I'm seeing a lot of gotchas in Vue that you need to really make sure you read the documentation, read it 3 times through, and make sure you understand what's going on, because there's little stuff that if you start doing stuff incorrectly, it can really bite you in the butt, as you saw in this video. All right, that wraps it up. Later, y'all.